are making it rain in the WNBA dump. The pink slips are flying, and it's not because it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. The WNBA isn't booking free consultations for their employees to ensure they are getting their annual checkups. Now, of course, these checkups aren't required for some of the employees in this league for obvious reasons, but we are barely a week into the WNBA offseason, and half of the coaches in the league, they are filling out job applications, hoping they can find their next minimum wage job before Christmas. Question is, why? Why have we seen this onslaught of firings in the WNBA? And it's not just the coaches. I think it's 4 general managers that have been fired as well. So it's also happening in the front office. Why? Even though money doesn't change who you are, matter of fact, oftentimes money actually accentuates your true personality. But even though money doesn't change who you are, it does change the way that you operate, changes your lifestyle, changes the way you make decisions. When you have money, you also have options. For example, before you guys made my dreams come true, allowing me to do YouTube full time, I was living paycheck to paycheck at my previous job. My wife, she was in a similar situation before we got together. She was a single mom trying to raise her kid on a decent income with no help from anyone else. During those times, I can remember checking my bank account multiple times every day. I was literally counting pennies. I would use apps at places like Chick-fil-A because I knew eventually I'd get a free meal. When it was 2 days before payday and you have $30 in your bank account, saving that $10 on a free meal at Chick-fil-A, that was a big deal. During the COVID, the company I was working at, they cut our pay by $1,000 a month. I was literally having to cut corners just to keep my head above water. Going to a Saints or Pelicans game, that was out of the question. Some months, I was living on my credit cards. I have never forgotten what it was like to struggle. Now, fast forward to today, I'm living a comfortable life. Not rich, but at the same time, I'm not counting pennies in my bank account. If we want to fly up to New York City to watch the Pelicans play the Knicks in Madison Square Garden, no big deal. This weekend, the wife wants to check out the new steakhouse downtown, one of those bougie places where she's going to make me dress up. They'll probably inspect my outfit at the door to make sure I'm abiding by their dress code. Money did not change who we are. Money didn't change our personalities, didn't change the way that we treat each other or the people around us. All money did was give us options. Instead of eating McDonald's, barf, we can eat overpriced steak that probably came from the same cows that they're using at the grocery store. Same thing in the WNBA. For the first time ever, the WNBA actually has money to spend. Now, of course, they didn't earn the money themselves. This money is coming directly from another generous donation from their subsidizers in the NBA, but to their credit, Caitlin Clark gave the NBA a reason this season to invest in the dump. For the first time, the WNBA has the opportunity to invest real money in their league in an attempt to make it better. The money, it's not going to change who the WNBA is, but here's the problem. The money could actually expose who the WNBA truly is. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Link to the second channel in the description below. This morning on the second channel, we talked about the abysmal ratings in the NBA. I had to begrudgingly admit that Major League Baseball is now more popular than my beloved NBA. Video is available now, so click the link in the description below and check it out on the second channel. Starting in 2026, the WNBA's new TV deal is going to go into effect. Now, if the WNBA had that TV deal this season, the dump would have made $100 million instead of losing $40 million. Meaning, for the first time in history, generous donations from the NBA, those donations, they would have made the WNBA Profitable. That influx in cash, it gives the WNBA an opportunity to improve their shitty product, an opportunity that they just didn't have in the past. What is one of the biggest complaints that I have with the WNBA dump? Well, KC, it's the entitled players. Their attitudes are insufferable. Yeah, that's definitely true. The vast majority of players in the WNBA, they have more in common with Megan Rapinoe than the girl next door named Megan. But that is something that most people can look past if there's an actual reason to watch. Barry Bonds, he was an entitled asshole. But as soon as Barry Bonds stepped up to the plate, you stopped whatever the hell you were doing and you watched. People hated the bad boy Pistons, but they watched them. During the late 90s, Vince McMahon, he was the biggest heel in entertainment. You know what else he was? Box office. You don't have to be light to draw an audience, but you do have to offer a compelling product, which, as you guys know, the WNBA hasn't offered a compelling product in 30 years. I think one of the reasons for that is because they didn't have the money to pay the best players. If you look at the NBA, a lot of the best players today, they are from overseas. Even if you're from America and you're one of the best basketball players in the country, why in the hell would you waste your time in the WNBA? Let's say you're an incredible basketball player, but you're also highly intelligent. Graduate from college and you had the chance to make 75 grand a year in the WNBA, or you can make 150, maybe 200,000 a year at some entry-level position on Wall Street. Which one are you going to choose? Where the lack of financial resources has really hurt the dump, it is coaching. I think part of the reason the WNBA product sucks, besides the fact that some of these players just aren't great athletes, I think part of the reason the WNBA product sucks, they don't have elite basketball minds to teach them how to play professional basketball. Last year, 2 coaches in the WNBA were paid over $1 million. The other 10 dumps, they were paying their coaches less than 700 grand a year. They are making significantly less money than assistants in the NBA. If you're an elite coach, why would you even consider coaching in the dump? You wouldn't. This influx in cash, it's going to make the WNBA competitive with the NBA. Now, they won't be able to lure head coaches, but they'll be able to look at elite college coaches along with elite assistants in the NBA. But again, here's the problem. For the past 5 years, the WNBA has ordered a double dose of the grilled woke wiener. They have claimed to be the league that is dedicated to diversity, equity, and inclusion. The WNBA is all about girl power. Woohoo! Yes, yes, yes. Those claims are easy to make when you don't have options. Those claims are easy to make when you don't have the money to pay top talent. It's easy to be all about girl power when women are the only option available. But what happens now when the WNBA can afford men? What happens now when that up-and-coming NBA assistant is actually interested in coaching in the WNBA? I know deacons at Woke United Methodist don't want to hear this, but coaching, it is a male-dominated industry. There's a hell of a lot more male coaches than there are female coaches. What will the WNBA do? Will they hire the best candidates, which would potentially make every single head coach not named Becky Hammon a dude? Will they allow coaching in the league to become dominated by men? Or will they continue to dedicate themselves to the bullshit and continue to present a substandard product? You know, the WNBA reminds me a lot of young people. It's easy to be idealistic. It's easy to be woke when you benefit from it or you have nothing to lose. In the case of the WNBA, it was both. Not only did they have nothing to lose, they actually benefited from shit fuckery. Being woke brought attention to the league that they had never received before. They could pretend to be all about girl power. They could pretend to combat mythical racism because They had nothing to lose and all the attention to gain. But what happens now? What happens now when the dump finally has options? What happens when you have an elite head coach who happens to be white who can teach your pretend basketball players how to become professionals and potentially win you a championship? If what's happened this offseason is any indication, it looks like the WNBA could be overlooking DEI to hire the best candidate. 7 coaches have lost their jobs in the WNBA this offseason. From what I understand, that is unprecedented. Maybe, just maybe, the WNBA is getting rid of the bums to bring in real coaches. I mentioned this on the second channel earlier this morning, and I cannot believe I'm going to say this again. If the NBA is not careful, if the NBA doesn't get their shit together, the WNBA could overtake them in popularity. Right now, the WNBA has something that the NBA doesn't have, and it doesn't seem like the NBA has one on the horizon either. The WNBA has a transcendent young star. The WNBA has a star that people relate to. They also have a potential rival to that star in Angel Reese if she could figure out how to make a layup. Caitlin Clark has the potential to overtake the NBA in popularity. And the NBA, they don't have an answer. LeBron James, 39 years old. At this stage of his career, he should not have to be relied upon to carry the league. Michael Jordan didn't have to. Kobe didn't have to. LeBron, he shouldn't either, but he does. Steph Curry nearing retirement. Hell, Steph Curry's having a hard enough time staying on the court, which is what happens when you get older. I told you guys 3 or 4 years ago, Steph Curry, he is not built to play into his late 30s, at least not at the level that we expect from Steph Curry. Kyrie is getting older, but he's never really been a mainstream star. Kevin Durant, older. Where are the young stars that will carry the league? They wanted it to be Ja Morant, but he's fallen out of the mainstream. They wanted it to be Zion, and it pains me to say this, but I don't know if Zion is capable. I don't know if Zion is capable of carrying the damn Pelicans, much less the entire league. I hope I'm wrong, but we are 6 years into this Zion Williamson experiment, and it has been nothing but a huge embarrassing failure. I know I joke around a lot about Angel Reese, but she is capable of being a big star. Angel Reese is capable of playing the villain and giving Caitlin Clark someone to draw money with. With proper coaching, Angel Reese is capable of becoming a great player. The NBA, they don't have to worry about the product on the court. Their problem is much deeper. The NBA has to worry about players showing up ready to play or just showing up to play in general. It is a hell of a lot easier to improve the on-court product than it is to fix a broken mentality that seems to be prevalent throughout the NBA. If they're not careful, the WNBA has the potential to overtake the NBA in popularity. What do you think? Am I insane? Does the WNBA have a chance here? Also, with this influx in cash, could we see the WNBA abandon their wokeness so they can hire elite coaches? Could coaching in the WNBA become male-dominated? Let me know. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. Appreciate your support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, and I'll see you guys later.